What is going on, everybody, and welcome to MTG Deep Dive, where I kind of want to talk a little bit more about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. I've been using this essentially since launch, July 10th, July 9th, and I'll tell you this. First of all, I want to thank Samsung if they ever come across this video for sending me out to New York City to check out the Galaxy Z Fold 7 as well as their other devices like the Z Flip 7, the Galaxy Watches. And it's been a great time with the Z Fold 7. And in fact, that was actually my first Samsung event that I ever went to. Actually, my first event ever that I went to. So again, huge shout out to Samsung for flying me out to New York City to check out their latest foldable. But that being said, I really like this. This actually is a fold that I can recommend to the mass, that I can recommend to just any consumer out there. Essentially, when the fold was released back in 2019, this was like it was a niche segment, and it was kind of like, will it work out and will it not work out? That was the idea. Will this stick to, just stick to the market? Will people pick up foldables? And each year, Samsung made improvements and refinements. And I feel like the Fold 4, 5, and 6 were really small, iterative upgrades. But this Fold 7 truly feels like a great foldable, again, that I can personally recommend to just the regular consumer. Now, I'm not going to just go through a spec sheet. I kind of want to talk about my experience and my thoughts about this, but go more in depth. I will be dropping, I don't know if I'll be dropping my end of year review of this Fold 7 before this video or after on my MTG Productions, maybe after, we'll see, maybe before, but regardless, that will be up on my MTG channel pretty soon, so stay tuned. But I kind of want to just talk about a little bit more in depth, because again, here at MTG Deep Dive, I want to make this more where you can listen on the road. You don't necessarily need to watch the video. You can just listen to the video as well of this phone and what it means maybe for next year with the Fold 8. Rumors are we're getting a new iPhone Fold in Q3 of 2026. So there's a lot coming in 2026 in the foldable market. I'm sure OnePlus is going to release their OnePlus Open 2. I'm very excited for that because the original OnePlus Open was great. If you guys want to see OnePlus Open here on the channel, let me know in the comments down below. But let's get into this design and build, which Samsung made the biggest improvements, if you ask me. First of all, when it's folded, it's like a normal conventional smartphone. It is 8.9 millimeters when folded, and unfolded, it's like 4.2. That is super, that's like razor thin. Now, obviously, when you unfold it, it doesn't fold completely flat. I think over time, it just doesn't fold as flat as it would on day one. That's what I have noticed. Obviously, like when you unfold for the first time, it doesn't fold, but you kind of have to like stretch it out to make sure it is fully flat. Now, I have gotten questions about the crease. Oh, is the crease still there? Yes, it is, but it has been significantly reduced when compared to its predecessor. I have the Fold 6 somewhere over there in the corner, and it's been significantly reduced. Yes, when you run your finger across, you're going to feel that the crease is still there. So there's really nothing you can do about that. Hopefully in the next year or two, the technology improves to where we don't see a crease on Samsung's folding device. But that being said, this hour display, it has been much improved. It's a larger 6.5 inch, which is great. It's wider too. So many times, there's been many cases where I'm not even using the inner display. Like if I'm just calling or texting real quick, I'll open up. I literally will just kind of open up the phone, unfold it, and I'll just use the cover display. And it truly has been great. I really do like this cover display. And the main display is even better. It's an 8-inch inner display. The big difference you're going to see, obviously, it's larger. It's got super thin bezels. You're going to see a regular inside camera. You're not going to see a under display camera, which for some reason has sparked a lot of conversation. Like, well, why did they get rid of the under display camera? It was better having a full screen. And I get it. I understand. They should have just got rid of it completely, if you ask me. Like, I don't use a inner display camera. I really don't. And I'll be honest, I don't use a front-facing camera either. I only use it if I'm video calling. Other than that, I don't really take selfies that often. So I'm not using the front-facing cameras on the outer display or the inner display. So if they got rid of it, would have been nice. But hey, maybe next year again. Or maybe they might switch back to UDC again. Until they perfect the quality, I think it's better to go this route. I think that's what Samsung went towards. Yes, it is bleeding into the screen, as in like there's a cutout, there's a camera cutout, but what can you do about it? It's there. You can't take it away. If you don't want it, then you go with the Z Fold 6, or you just keep the Z Fold 6, or you go with Z Fold 5, whatever the case is. Like, you can't do anything about it. It's here with the Fold 7. The build on this is really premium. It's got updated hinge, premium frame. Again, those hinge improvements. The durability is also great. The big conversation here again, not just the camera, but also the fact that this doesn't have S Pen support. There's that omission of the S Pen support. So the digitizer, you know, it's not there. And again, that sparked a lot of conversation. I'll tell you this, there are people who use the S Pen with their Fold 5, Fold 6, whatever the case is. So for those who do, it makes sense. But what I've seen, especially on like tech YouTube, tech Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, those who are talking about the omission of the S Pen, or omission of the S Pen support, they don't even use it. They don't. They don't use the S Pen, and they're talking about, oh, whoa, Samsung got rid of the S Pen, and you don't even use it. Why are you talking about it as if like it's a feature you were using on previous folds? Like, you don't. Yes, now there are those, again, those tech, on tech YouTube, tech Twitter, or tech threads, whatever you want to call it, that review devices that actually use the S Pen. I get it, but we all know that there are those who don't use it, but they're still talking about, oh, how it was a bad thing of getting rid of it. Like, come on. I'm being open with you guys. I don't really care about not having S Pen support. Why? Because I don't use it. But was it a good move for Samsung? No, because for me, the idea of having a foldable, I think, should be ultra. Having the best of the best. Having that tablet-like support. Don't get rid of the digitizer. If it's going to be a little bit thicker, I'm all for it. I think a lot of people would have been fine with it as long as it includes the digitizer and having the S Pen support. Just make it ultra. I think that's what a foldable is, especially because you're paying a premium price. You should probably have those features. I think Samsung long term is just going to get rid of S Pen support completely. Maybe just leave S Pen for their tablets. That is just my thought. I know with the Galaxy S26 Ultra that's coming out in a couple months, it's going to have S Pen support, but maybe in the next year or two, Samsung will completely get rid of it, axe it with their Ultra lineup. I don't know. Or maybe Samsung may make a comeback. They may surprise and say, oh, well, we did something wrong with the Z Fold 8. We removed it, but we brought it back. Who knows? So I guess fingers crossed, and we're just going to have to wait and see until the Z Fold 8. But for right now, yeah, it doesn't have S Pen support. So I guess that's why people are talking about it, because it doesn't have it. And there are those who don't use it but still talk about it, which, again, I'm not too happy about that. But it feels really comfortable to hold in the hand. It definitely is much more refined. I like this really boxy look, but it's also super, super slim. But just when you unfold it, it's just like the USB-C port barely fits. That's how slim it is. And if you're just listening to this, then probably can't see it, but I do have the blue color, and I really, really love this blue shadow on the Z Fold 7. But I think my next fold color will be probably the black. I don't know, either the mint exclusive or the black. I did see all of them in person when I went to Samsung's Unpacked event. And I really did like the blue, but I also do like the black. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a black color. I think that may be the standard going forward. But anyway, color is not too important, especially if you use a case, which I have been using from Thinborn. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below if you want to check it out. I've been using their cases for quite some time. Pretty much on all my devices. They make some really clean and minimal cases. That also does have MagSafe support, which Z Fold 7 does. And I think MagSafe support, having that MagSafe charging support just on any device now should be the norm, should just be standard. I think that's what it should be. But getting into the software, it is great. It's running One UI 8, Android 16. It's buttery smooth, 120 hertz refresh rate, both for the inner and outer display. It's super smooth. It is super clear too. The clarity on this is great. And Samsung has done a great job with One UI and just the foldable UI optimizations. Like the multitasking is great. I don't think there's any foldable that does it better than this. Just having so many apps open in the background. But for me, I like using the entire screen for one app. That's just me. But I know those who have a Fold that like making use of the larger screen and having a bunch of apps open at the same time. Just having a larger screen, the benefit of the larger screen really does work out. I mean, even when I have this video right here, for example, I'm going to lower the volume. There we go. But like, we got the video playing right here, and then like, let's say I'm eating food, right? I can now fold it in half and have one half of the screen showing the video and the other half that's folded on the table, have my controls, especially when I'm watching YouTube videos. Now, what I do love is just the fact that if you have an app open on your cover screen and you open it up, just it folds right into the inner display. So you get to continue to use it like that. But One UI 8 has been great. And if you're coming from a different Samsung, like a S25 Ultra, you'll understand how smooth and fluid it is. I haven't, gone through any hiccups or bugs, anything like that. It does have the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which right now is actually not the newest chipset on the market. It's the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, with OnePlus 15 being the first to have it here, at least in the US, which is wow. I mean, it hasn't even been a full year since the OnePlus 13 came out. But anyway, this does have 12, my model at least has 12 gigs of RAM. You can get up to 16 gigs. Obviously, you can also get up to a terabyte of storage. But for 12 gigs of RAM, it's perfectly fine. And how's the real world speed? I mean, apps open up really quick. The gaming performance on this is awesome, especially if you're playing a Clash of Clans. If you're playing games, like I think this is a great device for playing games. Call of Duty Mobile, Clash of Clans on this is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely. You cannot go wrong with the Z Fold 7 when you're playing games. Like, that's how good it is. Just because it has that larger screen, it is absolutely phenomenal. Now, does this get warm to the touch? No, not really. It doesn't really have, it's not going to have the best thermals because it's super thin, but it also hasn't gotten really warm to the touch. I think it's just the efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Even though it's a power-hungry chipset, it's also pretty efficient. There's been times where it got a little warm, but not to the point where I have to, like, put it down and let go of it. It's been great. Like, it's tackled everything that I use, and I'm using it mainly for content consumption. Again, my daily thing is like, I'll have a YouTube, so I'll open up YouTube and I'll have minimize the video, and while it's minimized on my screen, I'll go through other apps like Google Chrome and send emails and things like that, just mainly so it can be a little bit of sound, especially if it's a video I already watched. And then, I'll check my YouTube Studio, I'll send messages on WhatsApp, use social media apps, things like that. And then I'll open up the inner display to, play Clash of Clans or Call of Duty. Like, I won't use the outer display, especially if I have a Fold in my hand. Why am I gonna use the outer display for Clash of Clans? It just doesn't make sense. You get more screen real estate. Like, it is absolutely phenomenal. I really do like it. In fact, I'll open it up here for you guys, if you're watching at least. It is, great. Someone attacked me, so I need to go into battle. But look at that. Look at the screen real estate on the Z Fold 7. Like, that is great. It's phenomenal. Absolutely love it. So yeah, it truly has been great. And if you want to, comparing this to the Fold 6, is it a generational upgrade in terms of performance? No, but it's pretty good. If you have the Fold 6 though, probably want to consider it. Maybe wait for the Fold 8. But overall, the performance has been great. The software has been great. And I've used Samsung devices for years now. My first smartphone was a Samsung Galaxy S Blaze, a T-Mobile variant. So I've definitely used pretty much every single iteration of Samsung's operating or user interface, from TouchWiz to Samsung Experience and now to One UI. This has been the best yet. Now the camera system. I'm happy with it, but I'm also disappointed. I'm happy because we did get some upgrades. We got the new 200 megapixel main camera, and it was great. Samsung took us out to try out the camera. We went to some different highlighted areas in New York City and took some sample photos, especially in Brooklyn. We went to Dumbo, so we saw the bridge. We took pictures of the bridge. We used the Magic Eraser tool, Samsung's Galaxy editor, which was phenomenal, but it does a great job. Like 200 megapixels is actually really great on here, and the experience for photo experience, especially whether it's daylight, low light, it does a good job, for what you get at least. The video quality is good and it's usable, but is it S25 Ultra quality? No. And that's kind of one of the biggest gripes I had. Again, it brings me to the point of, why doesn't this have the same camera setup as the Ultra? You're paying a premium price. Just take the Ultra's camera setup and bring it into the Fold. I hope Samsung does that with the Fold 8. Just goes all out on the Fold 8, makes it a flagship. Whatever the case may be, don't take out specs. Don't, not add things or take away things. Just make this a beast. Make this the best of the best. You know what I mean? Like, bring that S Ultra camera system into here. 100x zoom, 200 megapixel main camera, whatever the case may be, 8K video recording, all of the great stuff. Bring it into the Z Fold, hopefully for the Fold 8. Bring back S Pen support. Throw in the best of the best specs in here while optimizing it with great performance, which it already has. Now you just have to up some of the specs. That's just my take on it. But the camera, 200 megapixel is great. I think in a foldable right now that I've used, I haven't used the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, and I probably won't pick it up because I'm not too interested in it right now until there's some updated redesigns with the build. But I think Z Fold 7 is, at least from the foldables that I've used the Pixel 9 Pro Fold and the OnePlus Open and the Z Fold 6. This obviously has done a great job and it's been the best in terms of camera. But for some reason, like foldables, like the camera department for foldables just underperforms. Like, why? I want to fold. Like, a lot of people want to fold, but they also care about camera quality. When they see the camera and compare it to their Galaxy S25 Ultra, when they compare it to their iPhone 17 Pro Max, they're like, well, I don't want a foldable. And by the way, Apple's coming out with the iPhone Fold next year. So we'll see how that is. If they don't add the same Pro Max or Pro camera system into their Fold and they make it a super expensive device, which makes sense, it's going to be a Fold, I will be pretty bummed out. Granted, I've had great quality with iPhone cameras, especially because I use it for making content. This video is actually being filmed with the front-facing camera of the iPhone 17. That does say a lot and just works better with my workflow. But if they don't do that, at least add in like an iPhone 18 camera setup into the Fold. We'll see. But the Fold is coming. So Samsung, you're going to have competition next year. You want to play it right. You want to make this a beast. You want to make this super powerful. So in every category, you can kind of outweigh the upcoming iPhone Fold. Just my recommendation. But let's get into the battery life and the charging. So battery life has actually been really good on this. It's obviously not the best, and I'm getting better battery life on my S25 Ultra, my iPhone 7, even my iPhone 17 Pro, my Pixel 10 Pro. but it's been better than my Z Fold 6, I'll tell you that. Z Fold 6 was getting to a point where it's like, I like the phone, I really want to use the Fold, but the battery life just wouldn't last me a day. This lasts me an entire day. And you think, even with a 4,400 milliamp hour battery, that's the same capacity as like the previous 3-4 iterations. What is Samsung doing? And you're right, what is Samsung doing? Add the latest battery tech, silicon carbon batteries, like add it to the Fold. Samsung in general, just add it to their devices. Like, why? The OnePlus 15, which is still pretty slim, has a 7,300 milliamp hour battery. If you're watching, you can see my cat right there. That's Chai. She's not going to say hello. You know, she's kind of doing her own thing right now. But anyway, a 7,300 milliamp hour battery in the OnePlus 13, or the OnePlus 15, I'm sorry. That OnePlus 13 has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. And we can't even get 5,000 in the Z Fold 7. It's crazy. It's crazy. But the battery life is pretty decent still. Not the best, but improved over its predecessor. I guess that's what is important, right? Well, if you use the inner display, then you're going to get, you know, your battery's going to drain faster. That makes sense. It's a larger display, right? But if you use the cover display for like 95% of the time, which then is like, why would you pick up a Fold? Like, that defeats the purpose. Then you're going to get better battery life. It's going to last a little bit longer. Charging speeds, however, they suck. They really do. Like 25 watts of wire charging. What you're paying $2,000 and you're getting subpar charging speeds. Like, there are mid-range devices that get faster charging speeds. Like, it's disappointing. It's also frustrating. Again, if you're coming from like an S25 Ultra, you're coming from a Pixel 10 Pro, you're coming from a OnePlus 13 or 15 at this point, then you're going to be really disappointed. You know, you're thinking, what is Samsung doing? The OnePlus Open that came out 2 years ago has like 60 watts of fast charging. What's going on here? I don't know. I'm not really happy with the charging speeds here on the Z Fold 7. It doesn't have MagSafe charging. The wireless charging obviously is already slow, so I'm not really that happy. But obviously, trade-off. It's like, yeah, this foldable design, it's super thin and all, but it still has a small battery, especially when you compare it to its predecessors, its competitors. It has a smaller battery. Like, I'm really not that happy. If you're a heavy multitasker, it's gonna last, but barely. Like, you're gonna have a little bit of battery anxiety until you really, you know, get used to using the phone. But for the first couple days, maybe even weeks, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm actually kind of scared. I want to make sure granted, there are chargers wherever we go. Like, if you're at work, I'm sure you have a charger. If you're in your car, you have a charger. If you're at home, you have a charger in your bedroom, living room, work room, whatever it is, library room. I'm sure you have a charger wherever you go. So, you know, long term, does it really matter about charging speeds? I guess not. But for me, it's like, I don't want to wait an hour or two to use my phone. And what if I don't charge my phone at night? I just charge it in the morning. This is not going to be that device. I especially with my OnePlus Open, I would never charge it at night. Charge in the morning, and I'm literally all set to go. I'd love to do the same with Samsung, but hey, maybe we will get it one day. Maybe with the Z Fold 8, who knows? But this starts off at $2,000. Obviously, if you pick this up in the holiday season, I've seen it starting at like $1,700, but it definitely has seen a price increase over its predecessor. So you kind of really want to, you know, sit down and think, are you paying premium for foldable features? You know, is the return on investment worth it? That's what you have to ask yourself. If this truly was like a Ultra, getting the best of the best, then yes, I would say it's definitely worth it. If you own a Fold 6, I don't think it's worth picking up. If you have a Fold 5, maybe. I would say start to kind of look at your options and see if it's worth it for you. But just kind of talk about some miscellaneous things. The durability has been pretty good. There is, you know, the Armor Flex hinge design, which is much improved. So you can see right here, it is super, super thin. And it just, again, it feels really durable. Obviously, I'm really protective, and I try to make sure I use my phone. You know, I'm not just throwing it around or being crazy with it. I make sure to take care of my phones when I'm using it, whether it's this or any other device. But yeah, it just has been great. I think the target audience for this, though, is those who want a foldable experience without needing to worry about S Pen support. Like if you really want a large foldable experience, I think this is great, because even though I said, you know, the battery life it's good, but it's not the best. The cameras are good, but it's not the best. It has improved in every single department when compared to its predecessor, and that's great. Like it's got a much improved design, which is super thin and premium. Like it actually feels much more premium than its predecessor. It also, not only that, has much larger displays, both the outer and inner display. Software is peak performance as expected. In that terms, I guess there's nothing more I can ask for from Samsung. The cameras much improved from previous folds, but obviously not the Ultra. And the battery life is much improved, but again, it's not up there with, you know, its, I guess, non-foldable competitors. So like the iPhone 17 Pros and even its, you know, S25 Ultra, it's like brother or cousin, whatever you want to call it, in the phone world. But it's easier to recommend because I don't know, it's just maybe it's those larger displays that is a huge game changer for a lot. At least that's what I feel like it is for me. So just to kind of wrap things up, this Fold 7 is my favorite foldable to come on in 2025. I like this more than the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, even though I didn't pick it up. And that's saying something. Like, I didn't pick it up because I didn't really like the upgrades that like the Pixel 10 Pro Fold could have been called Pixel 9 Pro Fold S. The Google Pixels foldable lineup and their naming scheme is already, it's off, and I don't like it. But this felt like an upgrade in every single department. Is it the best of the best phone? No, but it's the best of the best foldable Samsung offers, and it's much improved, and I think you're going to like it. I definitely recommend you trying it out, your local carrier store or Best Buy, wherever you pick up your phones from, and I think you will like it. I truly think you will like it. I really do like it. I would love to rock this device, but again, for me, it's the battery life is not in my standards. Like, it's just not going to last me as long because I really do use my phone for almost everything, and this is great. I'm giving up Clash of Clans on the larger screen because I don't like having, you know, I have better battery life on my Pixel 10 Pro. Yeah, and I'm giving up Clash of Clans on a larger screen for that. So for me, like, I have to make some trade-offs, but hey, you know, hopefully we'll see Fold 8 come with those upgrades, but it's kind of what I want to say about the Z Fold 7. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to superman that like button as you do on MTG Productions. Comment down below. Let me know what other types of phones you want to see here on the channel, and kind of give me some ideas of how you want me to format these types of videos, if you're watching it at least. If not, I kind of want to make it podcast commentary types of things where I go more in depth about just tech, phones, whatever the case may be. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you all in the next video.